Hello students, you're all welcome to this lecture. The subject of this lecture is postmodernism and postmodernity. Uh, we will direct our efforts to forming an understanding of these very important theoretical issues. We will be studying postmodernism and postmodernity in relation to Frederick Jameson's essay Postmodernism or the Cultural Logic of Late Capitalism. This essay was first published in the New Left Review in the year 1984, and thereafter it was developed into a full-length book. Uh, we can say that even after more than 30 years of its publication, this essay is considered to be a very important intervention in the field of postmodernism and postmodernity, although it will be wrong to treat the essay as the final word because many things that are said in the essay are contentious and debatable. Uh, However, we cannot deny the importance of this essay. We will be dividing this lecture into two parts. In the first part, we will concentrate on two terms. One is condition of modernity and second is modernism in art. In the second part, we will concentrate on the enumeration of the characteristic features of postmodern culture, postmodern, postmodernity, and postmodernism in Frederick Jameson's essay. Now, in the beginning, we can say in the layman's use of the word modern, it refers to something new. Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary defines modern as of the present or as of the contemporary. Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary similarly defines modernity as the condition of being new. Based on this, we can say that modernity allude to the fact that they refer to something new, something that is not old. Uh, so, in the basic sense, modernity refers to some kind of renewal, remaking, and some kind of newness. Uh, right at the outset, it will be right to make it clear that what we call modern age has its beginning in the 17th century Europe, and it will be right to right to say that primarily modernity is a European phenomenon. It is through Europe that modernity gets transported to the rest of the world. This happens through the expansion of Europe in terms of the transition of European institutions, political systems, and its economic structures to the other areas of the world. That is another story, and we will come to it later on. Now, coming back to our subject, modernity, beginning with the 17th century, can, in its first basic sense, can be understood to be the process of the material and economic advancement of Europe. Uh, we can say that during this period, there are major technological and scientific advancements in European society, which are given or which are explained with the help of the term scientific materialism. As a result of scientific and technological advancements, there is a shift from small scale production to large scale machine based production. So, this is the basic transition with which we can link modernity. we can, at second level, we can link modernity with the shift or transition from the ideology of religion to the ideology of man. Rather than looking at it in terms of some philosophical or epistemological transition related to the collective consciousness of people, it will be better to say that during this period after the 17th century, conditions are in place for the propagation of the ideas of a long line of philosophers who give importance to the historical role of man in the economic and social progress of the society. There is a long line of philosophers, beginning with those philosophers who belong to the Enlightenment project, like Immanuel Kant and Rousseau, to Rene Descartes, and to Sir Isaac Newton, who, in a consistent and in a very long drawn process, emphasize the importance of human intellect and human reason in ensuring economic, social, and political progress of the world. Whereas the Enlightenment project had its culmination in the ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity, in the propagation of democratic and secular ideals. Descartes uh, emphasized the role of human reason and thought, and he placed man, or he accorded man the central position in the scheme of things, something we describe as liberal humanism. Similarly, Newton made major discoveries in the field of natural sciences, which created the possibilities for the conquest of nature by man. Now, all these ideas had a larger theme of its progress and development. So, this is the second and ideological level at which we can understand the condition of modernity, economic shift from small scale production to large scale production, development of machine based technological means of production, and secondly, greater and greater importance to, as a part of an ideological shift, greater and greater importance is given to the intellect and reason of man under the under the discourse of rationalism. Uh, Greater and greater importance is given to man as the greatest determining factor in the modern history. So it is a combination of scientific advancement and the ideology of man which define the condition of modernity, and all these things get crystallized in the ideas of economic and social progress and development. Now, lastly, at the third level, all these things find a material manifestation in what we call industrial capitalism, the system of industrial capitalism, which carries on in a process of massive progress till the 20th century. Next thing in relation to modernity has a relationship with what I call the fallout of modernity in the rest of the world. In the beginning, I said that basically it is a European phenomena which gets transported to the rest of the world. Here we will take a small pause and I will remind you of a very important work which deals with this theme, and I assume that most of you must have read it. The work is called Heart of Darkness by Conrad. Now, Conrad deals with the transposition of European ideals in Africa. And we all know that the consequences shown by Conrad are disastrous, because Conrad touches a very important aspect related to the fallout of modernity and modernism. What is that? Now, let me systematically deal with the fallout of modernity, the condition of modernity in larger social terms. The fallouts can be discussed under various heads: the political fallout, the economic fallout, the social fallout, and uh, and the cultural fallout. So, number one, we can say that this episode in the history of human life, first and foremost, most creates a schism, a division between Europe and the rest of the world. And Edward Said deals with this issue in a very detailed manner. Europe, there is a belief in European superiority and a simultaneous belief in the inferiority of indigenous cultures, which had been in existence for a very long time, all over the world in different geographical areas. So it is the story of conditions that lead to European domination in political, economic, and cultural terms over the rest of the world. Europe is, is given an advantage by the experience of modernity, and it is in a position to establish its political, economic, cultural hegemony over the rest of the world, which finally takes the form of imperialism and colonialism that continues for 300 years. The transition from small scale production to large scale production and the establishment of industrial capitalism brings about another transition, and that transition is the emergence of a class based society. Europe gets divided into the capitalist class and the working class. And an important manifestation of this class society is the collective realization of the common interests of the working classes, and of the realization that the industrial capitalism is not only a new system of production, but it is essentially an exploitative system where the exchange value of the working classes is systematically reduced, and they are kept at subsistence level. And this has an outcome, or this finds expression in working class movements, in particularly in the middle of the 19th century. At social level, there is a rise of literacy, there is democratization of society, rise of nations and nationalism, and the emergence of the nationalist ideology as the most important ideology. In economic terms, I have already hinted at it. There is the restructuring of the society. One of the consequences of which is that there is a transition from older system of production to new system, which can be described as the rise of the money economy or market economy. And it is precisely in search of markets that the European powers go out into the rest of the world in order to find markets for their products. So we can say that the fallout of the experience of modernity in Europe can be understood in many different senses. So, the progress, economic development continues uh, till the 20th century, and an important point which can be seen as a disruption in this long discourse of social and economic progress is the uh, first